Good morning. Welcome to Life Stories. It's a pleasure to share this Saturday morning with you. We started the day full of enthusiasm. I'm Alys. I warmly welcome you and thank you for joining us today. We are very honored to have today's guest with us. She is the writer Ikrame Selkani, originally from Rabat, Morocco. A naturally curious and imaginative mind, she has always been drawn to the intersection of ideas, culture, and the human experience. Her lifelong passion and creativity and discovery began early and has only deepened over time. She holds not only one but two PhDs, one in heritage from the University of Córdoba, Spain, and another one in sustainable management from the University of Santiago Compostela. She currently works as an assistant professor and researcher in several prestigious business schools in Spain and is internationally recognized speaker on topics ranging from management, culture, and tourism to sustainability, heritage, and marketing. Her lectures have taken her across the globe, from Morocco, France, and Tunisia to Sweden, UK, and Spain, and the USA. While her academic and professional journey is remarkable itself, Ikrame's love for free writing has been a guiding force in her life. She is deeply drawn to the artistic and emotive aspects of writing, with a distinct voice that blends reflection, tenderness, and depth. Over the years, she has authored several books in English, French, and Spanish, showcasing her multilingual talent and cultural fluency. Her literary work, Don't Skip My Memory, offers a tender, multicolored portrait of life as it truly is, not only rosy, as Piaf once sang, not entirely dark, as the pessimist might claim, but as a spectrum of shades and moments, written as heartfelt gift from Elizabeth to her granddaughter Gloria on her 18th birthday. The book gathers a collection of life lessons meant to guide her through the journeys of ahead. Some lessons are rooted in joy, others in hardship, yet each one carries the quiet strengths lived in experience. Through the intimate reflections and vivid storytelling, Don't Skip My Memory explores how wisdom is passed down across generations, and how shapes identity, and how hope can be found even in life's most uncertain chapters. It is both personal keepsake and a universal companion, inviting readers to see their own stories reflected in its pages. Beyond the intergenerational treasure, Ikram Salkani has published numerous others' work, including My Dear West Underground, is a tribute to the people and animals whose absence still lingers and a meditation on how memory transforms loss and enduring presence. Through all her writing, Ikrame Selkani reveals a tender and introspective narrative style rich in emotion, renaissance, and profoundly human. She has called her writing her form of reading, and each book reflects a part of her ongoing dialogue with the world. Welcome, Ikrame Selkani. It's a pleasure to have you in Life Stories. How are you feeling today, Ikram?
Hello, thank you so much for having me in this international and wonderful program. Alice, I'm very happy to be with you, and thanks for having me in your program as your guest. I'm pretty good.
Uh, It's a pleasure to have you. Ikram, before we talk about your book, could you share a bit about yourself and your journey as a writer?
Yes, of course. Well, I'm from Morocco, and I've been living in here in Spain for almost 7, 8 years, and I work as an assistant professor in a business school, in different business schools in Spain, and I love writing. And one of my biggest achievements, I think, when I was 27, I think, years old. It was my Dear Ones Underground. When I had it between my hands as a book, I was really very thrilled and very glad because that was a dream I've been having during my teenagers time, and I was really happy to do it.
That's great. Don't Skip My Memory is such a thoughtful and touching work. What was the first thing that moved you to bring Elizabeth's words of wisdom to the page for her grandmother and for the world?
Well, I think it's very personal as an answer, but I'm very glad to share it with you because I don't have a grandmother. When I was born in 87, I looked for maybe a wise person to receive some advice, some recommendations from time to time, and maybe love stories and some social life or something like that. But I was looking into my small world. It means like my uncles and aunts, but I didn't have a grandmother. So that was something I really missed when I was younger, and I really wanted to write this book because I think that when you have a grandmother, you have a wiseness, you have something, and especially a person that holds a lot of experience and especially advice and so many things to teach you. So this is why I went with this lack, maybe, with something that was missing in my life, and I wanted to do it through these lines and through this book.
So I appreciate you to share that answer. That's incredibly personal. And in the book, you don't shy away from showing all life in all its shades, the bright and the dark. How did you decide which moments and lessons would truly capture that spectrum?
Well, I try to talk about the most important thing, especially when you leave your parents' house and you want to anticipate your life as an adult. So I try to balance between all the shapes, all the spectrum, as you said, between the things that you can face. For example, when you go to college, you go to the university, and things, for example, that you can maybe handle differently. For example, your first love, your first boyfriend, etc. So I really wanted to have like a challenge between all the different experiences that like life can bring you. Between what you can experience yourself with your friends, and there is always a balance between what is very hard maybe to balance yourself and things you can handle between your friends, for example, or your closest family. So I wanted to do it as I could, and I choose the the most important ones between, for example, like reading, going on vacation, and especially experiencing things for the first time.
So your book is focuses on a lot on milestones that happen in your life, and this leads to your writing being of a very gentle, intimate quality. What do you enjoy most about preserving memories in a way that feels personal yet speaks to many readers at once?
I think that when you talk about something very personal, but you do it through your character, the readers will feel identified. And this is what I try to do. For example, when I was talking about reading, when I'm talking about, for example, like spending the vacation and concentrate on the moments, live the now. This is things that we can really come across and we can experience through different times. Whatever your age it can be, whatever the moments that you are facing in that moment. The thing is, when you try to mix between what you're living socially, and you try to maybe develop it and enhance it in the character, I think the readers will be really feel that they are identified and they feel that you are talking about them. So this is the message. I think that as a young adult, I would say, because Gloria is a young adult, she is like trying to challenge herself between different things and different experiences. But the most important thing is just to feel that she's doing things because she wants to, but she's not forced to. And I think that the confidence is what we need and what is missing sometimes.
That's incredible. In your book, the themes of growth, resilience, and the passing down of wisdom are central to this work. Was there a particular moment or insight that inspired you to weave them together?
I think a special moment is, for example, when you live abroad. For example, in my case, I left my country and I live in Spain. So you had to mix between all the things that you've been living in your own country, and you want to face something new for the first time. You need to have confidence. You need to have the openness to know and to discover a new culture. And I think that brings to you different kind of elements that could be sometimes answers, and sometimes they could just be questions, like open questions that you would not feel that the people are really answering you. Maybe you will have to experience to discover this yourself. And I think that the most important thing is to do things when you are really you feel like them, like you feel like it, and you want to do it for sure.
That's incredible. You've expressed yourself in English, French, and Spanish. Why do you feel English was the right voice for this book? And how do you think that a language shapes the emotion behind a story? Since the story is so personal, it's full of emotions passed down from a grandmother to her granddaughter.
Well, I think the choice of the language is something that I cannot really control because it depends on the inspiration. At the moment, none of my book has been ever translated. So, for example, if I have to write in French, it's because I feel the inspiration in French and I go and write in French. And the same thing is for English. And I believe that English, well, it's the universal international language, and sometimes like you need maybe less words to express yourself, and that is really a plus. It is a very big advantage, especially when you are writing in English. Maybe you'll need less words and less sentences to say and to express yourself out and to say what's really going on inside of you. And this is what I did to my both books in English. And Don't Skip My Memory is not an exception. I wanted to mix between what I felt when I realized that I don't have a grandmother and what would have been living with her if she would stay alive. But it's not the reality, so I just imagined like an imaginary imaginary life or anecdotes that I would love have lived with her.
Okay, that's really personal, and I really appreciate for you to share this. I think the best way to describe "Don't Skip My Memory" is a gift for the next generation. What feelings do you hope to leave with the readers? Comfort, encouragement, perhaps a sense of connection?
Yes, comfort and a special connection. I agree. I would maybe add, for example, a joy, because right now we are living in a special world where you have so many problems and stress, and people are really for burnout with the exams. For example, if it's for people that are at the university, or for so many tasks that you have to do as an employee. But I think that the most important thing is just to calm down a little bit, give time to yourself, and appreciate the moment, appreciate the now, appreciate the present, in order to be happy, and maybe to believe there will be a positive and an optimistic future.
Um, Thank you for sharing that. In your book, you're very confident about the stories and pieces of advices you share. However, in your writing process, do you have a piece of advice or story that you hesitated to include but ultimately felt it was too important to leave out?
No, not really. I think the advice I shared in my book, I try to follow them myself. Sometimes, like I'm not really following them, like I 100%. I try to mix between like the mood. Sometimes you're not so ready to do what the advice or the saying is trying to communicate to you. But I think that there is no advice that I felt that is like too personal or too intimate to share it. I think the most important ones are in the book, and the majority of them I try to follow them myself.
Thank you. How do you recognize when a memory or life lesson was ready to be shared with a book, rather than remaining private? You mentioned that there's no memory that was too intimate to be shared, but how do you know when it is ready, when it is developed enough to be shared in a book that will become so popular?
I think that when you're talking about some anecdotes and you want to share them, you just need to be sure of it and confident about it. All the anecdotes and all the souvenirs cannot be shared, of course. But I think when you write a book and you want to touch different hearts across the globe, and because English is an universal language, and you maybe I'll be having readers in India or in Australia or in Germany, I don't know. But when you feel that you are really believing in what you are writing, you feel that this story will be touching other hearts, because what comes from the heart goes to the heart. And when I'm talking about, for example, like Don't Skip My Memory as a book, I'm not talking about a technical book. It's not, for example, for management or how to create a company or something. It's something that really comes from the soul, from your experiences, from your past, and it has to do with family. Like we all love to be with our families, and we are collecting some memories in order maybe to be ready to share them with our kids and our children in the future. So I think that when you are having a very good or maybe sad memory, someone in another country, in another culture, would have lived the same thing. So I think it's really important to share it and to mention it in order to touch other hearts and other souls.
So this is more so of a follow-up question. You mentioned that this book is very free. It's not so much for management or sustainability or the areas that you usually work with. And you come from structure academic work. Was it a challenge or perhaps a relief to create something so emotional and reflective?
It was not really a big challenge because I began to write when I was 13 years old. Because when I was in high school and secondary school, I when we had some homework, for example, as a writing, I was really very thrilled, very happy. Like I remember my colleagues, my classmates, were not very happy at the moment because they didn't want to write. But I loved writing from my younger age. And to write this book, it was not really a big challenge because it was something I really loved to do from many years. And maybe the structure of the book would have taken a bit more time in order to develop all the writing and to do it as a book. But for the writing process, it was not really very difficult because I was talking about something that really touched my heart. I wanted to share it. Plus, the writing for me is really important, almost essential. Like sometimes I really need to write. Maybe it's not a book, but I need to write my thoughts. I need to write my desires, what I would like to achieve, for example, in the next 5 years, the next 5 months, and that's really important for me.
That's incredible. Did working on this book change your own perspective on multiple areas of your life, such as your family, the way that you see life, or even the way that you view your own past?
I would say yes. Sometimes when you write about your family, you realize that it's not the same thing, and you really have to appreciate the present moment. You realize that there are so many things that go so fast and so quickly, and time passes by very quickly. And you just do not realize that it's so rapid, so quick. And writing Don't Skip My Memory, I wrote it in 2022. And I realized that it's been 3 years right now. So I just realized that it's been so quick the moments that I had to wait for the process of writing to do it myself and to choose, especially the title. It was a challenge for me because I wanted to call it in different ways. And when I said, "Don't skip my memory," I said, "This is like the final one, the." Because at the end it's something that you it's skipped to it's stuck to your mind. But I think, yes, you realize that the family, the time, the quality time is really important, and you want to appreciate it and to do it as fast as you can and as much as you can.
So when you were choosing the title, how did you lock in with the Don't Skip My Memory? Was it a gut feeling? Did something happen to make you realize that this was the title for your book?
Well, I think maybe you will laugh big, but I just dreamt of this title because I was a bit thinking about different propositions, but at the end, I think that Don't Skip Memory. I just had a dream because I was not really stressed, but I was feeling that what is a title that would give this book, it would not be too long or too short because I wanted to be an expression or something like a little sentence, but it would stick to your mind. And I just slept, and during my dream, I feel that I have seen like skip memory. I have seen those two words, and when I woke up, I said, "Yes, don't skip my memory" would be the best title.
That's great. I feel like a lot of authors don't have the courage to share that, but thank you for sharing that. Life is always moving. Life is always teaching us new lessons. Sometimes you feel that life moves too fast, and with that, you get to learn more about you get to learn more advice. How did you decide when the book was complete and it had all the pieces of advice you wanted to share?
I think that I had like a technical structure about things I want to talk about in the book. So I knew that there would be two parts. When Gloria was a kid, and when Gloria is 18 years old and ready just to embrace her adult life. And I had the listing of the advice I wanted to talk about. So when I just I reached the last advice, I felt that this is the end, and I just added, I think, one or two pages, and I felt it. I think that when you write a book, you really need to have like a technical structure in your mind, how you want to begin it and how you want to end it. The development maybe could be changed at a certain moment, and you need to manage how you begin it and how you end it. You are the owner of the book. You are the author, you are the writer, so you can change whatever you want at any moment. But I think that in my case, for Don't Skip My Memory, I knew exactly how I would end it. And when I reached the last advice, I was really happy.
So in the process of writing, you learn a lot, whether that be about writing or about yourself. Uh, what did the process of writing Don't Skip My Memory reveal about yourself, either as a writer or as a person?
I think as a writer and as a person, they're revealing that I am passionate about the writing itself, about the story I'm sharing with the readers, and especially that it's very important for me when I begin a project or a book or something. I need to finish it. Otherwise, I would feel that I became a little bit overthinker, and that would maybe take away energy from me because I need my energy as a professor. I need my energy as a human being. So I think that when you begin something, you need to do it and you need to achieve it. I don't need to say that you want to achieve it, whatever the result is. You need to be confident and you need to be sure, about what you're doing and how you do it. And I think that I would add that's the most important thing and the advice that it really completes me when I was looking to all the sayings and expressions and everything. When you do something right now and you do it with confidence, don't worry about the rest. You just need to be confident about yourself and about how you do it, how the progress is going, and let the process take its mechanism to do it as you can.
So, when you were writing this book, did it for as a gift to yourself or as a message for all the people who might see themselves in those pages?
I think I would not choose, I would choose both of them. It was a it was something that really touched myself, of course. This is what I'm talking about it. And it was like a gift to all the people that are maybe having the same challenges and passing by all these experiences, and they don't really know what they have to follow and what experiences they need to take to pay attention to. So I think that it's both the both choices that you gave. I would choose both between myself as an author and for the readers and all the people that are trying to have the same experiences.
So now that a couple years have passed, you mentioned that you released it in 2022, and now 3 years have passed. Life moves too fast. Now that some time has passed since the book's release, do you feel that same connection to it, or do you feel that it has deepened and your understanding has deepened with it too?
It depends about which parts you're talking about in the book. Sometimes if I read it again, I would feel different because living abroad and because of my age. Well, I'm not too old, but just to mention. But sometimes, like, you understand things differently because the perspective is very different because you have so many things that have been changed, maybe through the experiences that you have, through the challenges and everything. But I recognize also that there are some parts that are totally with no change because you said it. I said them and I wrote about them in 2023, 2022 this way, and three years after, I feel the same. That is sometimes something that is a really stick to your belief and to your confidence. And sometimes maybe just maybe you have not lived something differently that would maybe change your perspective. But I think it depends about which part of the book you're talking about.
Okay, so life is complicated and every part changes a bit. You mentioned that for you it was important to for the book to be as a personal gift to yourself, but also to the readers. Can you share how have the readers responded to Don't Skip My Memory? And is there a particular message or encounter with a reader that has stayed with you?
Well, for the readers, I know, but some people I know them, and others I don't. For the majority of them that have read the book, they said they really felt touched with the story, the advice. Sometimes like they are thinking about something else, or maybe to begin a project, to be a businessman, or to do something different in their lives, to quit the job. And when they came across, for example, an advice or a saying or something, they really feel that they needed this advice at that moment in order to maybe take a decision or leave it, or leave a relationship, or quit a job, or to live abroad, or maybe embrace something that has to do with your childhood, a dream or something. And concerning the second part of your question, I think it depends on each person. Some people said that it's very emotional, very touching as a book, but they needed time because I think something that's really changing inside of you. Maybe your beliefs are this way, but right now, because of your age or because you are beginning something new in your life, you need maybe more time. And others that like the touch was immediate and was very quick. So I think it's both of them are very positive as reviews, but they just needed to feel it differently because depending on the experience of the person, where do you live, and what experiences you had.
So could you agree with the opinion that this book kind of grows with you as you grow? Maybe your perspective shifts on some things, maybe something that you didn't quite grasp on the first read, maybe a couple years later you might understand.
Yes, 100%. I really agree with this. So yeah, the book is growing with you. You grow yourself, and then once you're, I don't know, like a certain age, you begin to read it, and you feel it differently. You read it differently, and I think there is so many books this way that when you read them, it depends on how you are at that moment. What is your mood at that age or at that, I don't know, like. A season. I don't know. It could be spring and you feel like overwhelmed with the work. It could be summer and you can feel so stressed because of something else. And I really agree with this. Like the book is growing, your thoughts are growing, and you are growing also. And the perspective and the opinion is very different from a station to another.
Okay, so you have so many pieces of advice and memories in your book, and sometimes it takes a bit more of a level of maturity a bit higher to be able to understand what the book is trying to convey. What would you say is the best age to start reading it and to continue reading it in the future?
Well, I think the book is really written to different people. The best age to read it, maybe it could be maybe before you're 18 because you want to know all what's going on in the world and to get this advice before you commit something or you could be in trouble, you can find like a big problem because sometimes you really need to have like a certain basic place where you are collecting all the information from between you what you are believing, between what you are collecting from your friends, from your family. And I think that 18 or maybe a bit before, like 17 or 16 years old, could be the best. And for the maximum, I think maybe if you are 25 years old or if you are a grandmother also and you want to read the book and to feel that maybe the advice you received I don't know in 1955 or 40s are still the same because I think life have changed over time. I agree, but the values have been the same. Right now, maybe we have a bit less because of technology, because of so many things that are trying to kill the human connection between people. And sometimes we find so many fights between generations, but I think the values are the values, the principles are the same, and we just need to know them and to get stick to them because this is what we need exactly in that moment. And when we are in a certain situation, difficult or complicated, we need these values and we need these principles.
So you have a lot of books previously released from Don't Skip My Memory. Was there something that you learned along the trajectory of writing all of those books that helped you shape Don't Skip My Memory, or is this kind of a project that was like solely made that had a bit of a less influence from your previous works?
I think that each book has a soul and they are very unique. And because sometimes they ask me like, what do you write exactly? Are they poetry or fiction? It depends on each book. And I think that Don't Skip Memory also is a project I really wanted to do. I waited till 3 years ago to do it this way because I needed as a person and as Ikram to have like this wiseness, this a perspective from outside, because sometimes you really need to step back and to step outside of the box in order to do it differently. When you feel like you are too emotional or too overwhelmed, you can do the thing in a certain way, but you would not be objective. In my book, it's true that I'm trying to share all the advice, all that is very important and shareful to me. But I think that you need to be objective a little bit, and you need to touch different areas between what could really be important to teenagers and what could be really important to a young adult. And for this, you need to do a lot of work on yourself, of course. This is the first thing. And second, for the message to be very touching, and to feel that you are trying your best and to do it at the best version possible.
Okay, so you mentioned that it is very important to stay objective, but also being emotional. I've seen with a lot of books that the author struggles with either being very objective and being very clear and more so on reality, but sometimes they get too overly emotional. Was this an issue that you faced? And if you did, how were you able to overcome this issue?
Well, I think in my case, I try to balance. I think, as I mentioned before, I try to balance between the emotional and the practical one, or the objective point of view. It's a bit hard to do it. Yes, I agree. But I think that you just need to have a little structure of the book and how you want to do it and how you want to develop it. You can do it, for example, and you maintain the first character, and you try to give the advice. For example, in my case, to give the advice at a certain a personal way. Or maybe, for example, if you wanted to do it objectively, you just need to talk about someone else, like a third character, and that could be help the work to be done. So I think it depends on the author. I think it depends on what age you want to touch, what is your first and final message, and to who you are writing. It's not the same that you are, for example, writing something very philosophical, or something that you are trying to share, maybe with that technical vocabulary or something. And when you write something very personal, it's very different. So I think it depends on what you are doing and how you want to do it, and what is the objective through this book.
Okay, so for listeners who have not read the book, how would you introduce Don't Skip My Memory in just a few sentences?
Okay, Don't Skip My Memory is a book that would be like a secondary diary for each person that is a young adult and is willing to understand how life goes through different advice and through different wiseness from a grandmother, in order to do things with more confidence and more with more joyful.
So, the process of writing the book, was there something that maybe stumped you a bit? You mentioned that maybe choosing the title of the book was a bit complicated until you had that dream. But was there anything else that maybe stopped you a bit and you had to retrace a bit to really capture the essence that you wanted to?
Yes, I think the organization about the second part, when I had to classify the advice, when I have, for example, a diamond, the sapphire, and a ruby advice, because I didn't want to give all the advice like that in with no organization. So I tried to collect each one of them at a certain with a nice title, for example, like a diamond advice, like this is really like too shiny, what's going on in here, and you try to discover step by step what you're talking about. And I think that it's a work and it's an organization that you're trying to do. You do it yourself, because you are the writer, because you are the author. Maybe at this stage, if you want to read the book by someone else, for example, or to present the book to someone else in order to edit it or to correct something in it, you can have another perspective. But that depends. For example, if that person is very close to you, or is it someone that is very that you don't know, like a very professional person. But I think that the main thing is to organize things as you feel it as an author, because it is the first and the last thing that imports.
So this book is something you mentioned. It is that the original idea comes from not having a grandmother. So has this book always been a project for yourself? Have you had this idea forever? And when you got to publish it, what was the first feeling that you had? Did you feel relieved that you were able to share this knowledge with the world? Did you feel a sense of pride?
Well, don't skip my memory. It was a project because I wanted to have another project in English, because that was my second book. I wrote My Dear Ones Underground in 2018, and I wanted to do it because I felt that something is really happening, and I wanted to gather all the most important things that I felt like at that moment, that are very essential, important to my life. And I wanted to do it this way in order to share it, in order to tell a story, in order to do something differently. And especially when we are talking about two generations, the idea was there to organize it, to develop it. It took me a certain while, but I think I was thinking about it before, way before, because I think that whenever you want to begin, for example, it could be a song, it could be, for example, like a movie or something, a very artistic work. You need to think about it and you need to give it the space you want to, because the message is very important, and how you are managing this message and how you are organizing this project is very important as the book or as the project itself.
So this book, as you mentioned multiple times, it combines a sense of emotional, but also it is structured. Was it ever hard to fit that emotion into a structured way?
No, not really. It was not really that difficult because I I was working on it for the while that I was thinking about what is the advice that would go inside. And while I was thinking about this, I was thinking about the structure also. And I said, for example, to this, I want this part to be a bit more maybe objective or more structured. This one will be a little bit more emotional. Maybe this advice is like too harsh. I would do it like in a light way in order not to hurt the reader, etc. But I try just to mix between those two structures, because the process of thinking about the idea and thinking about all the content you will talk about was for me a long while, but it really helped me. I didn't do it in a rush. I did it in a very a flexible time, and I think that it really helped me to organize it as right now.
Okay, sorry, my internet just had a little bit of an issue. So for you, what would be the best piece of advice for a writer who wants to, in a way, showcase something similar that you did, something that has emotion but is also not all over the place, that has structure?
I think that would be just easy. Like just do it. Don't wait for the perfect time or the perfect organization, because if you wait, you will be more demanding and more you will feel that you are you need to answer more demands, more exigence. And I think that you don't need this. You just need to do it tonight and today. I think I'm telling this to myself also, because if you ask me to write over Don't Skip My Memory right now in 2025, I would do it really differently, because the organization I had at that moment would be very different from right now, because the perspective is very different. Maybe I would make it maybe a bit longer in some advice, maybe shorter in others. Maybe it would have more pages. Maybe the cover would be very different or something else. Maybe Don't Skip Memory, I would call it something else, or I would think about another expression to be more, for example, like more objective or more practical. Like Don't Skip Memory is something that really gets stick to your head, because it's talking to you, it's talking to your memory, it's talking to your mind, so it's very emotional. But I think the for the authors that would like to do it, just do it. Like just don't wait for the perfect time, for the perfect moment. Just try it, okay, and don't wait too long.
So if you had the opportunity of rewriting it, would you change some parts of it?
In the whole, no, but inside, maybe I would add something. I would not touch what is right now written, because I'm really convinced by what I did. But I would maybe, for example, add something more, talking about more, like for the relationship, for example, with animals, with the environments, or something else. Maybe, for example, with the quality time, I would add some more elements. Yes, of course, I would.
So where can our listeners find the book and what formats are currently available?
It's available on Amazon in ebook and in paper book.
Okay, do you have any plans maybe in the future to maybe make it in the format of an audiobook?
An audiobook, I was thinking about it, but it's not ready yet.
Do you feel that a book has a certain way of telling you if it is quite ready to be expressed in an audiobook or in a certain format?
I think all the books could be challenge it could be a change to audiobook, and sometimes like it's more practical for people that don't have time to read a book itself in a paper book or something, so they would just listen to the audio, which is pretty nice. But at the moment, like I was thinking about it, but I just at the moment the my book Dusk Memory is not ready yet for the audiobook, but all the books they need a chance to be turned on in an audiobook.
Thank you. And finally, what parting thought or message would you like to leave with our listeners today?
Well, I would share two advice from the book that would be very challenging for the most in the readers and the listeners. Sometimes it's the smallest decisions that could change your life forever. So just stick to these smallest decisions. Don't say like it's too hard for me. I would not do it. It's not the best time. Just try to do it, and believe in yourself, because you need to believe in yourself before anyone believes in you. We are sometimes like looking for this appreciation and other point of view and so many things, but I think that the most important thing is just do it. And the second one, you can't go back and change the beginning, but you can start where you are and change the ending. So if you're not you don't believe at what stage you are right now in your present, and you cannot change the beginning because you cannot change so many things about your start. Just start right now and make the ending a difference, and just try to open the door, open your hearts, and do it. That could be sports, that could be a movie, that could be a song, that could be studies, that could be entering a medical school, or being a champion or something.
Okay, so we have a message from our audience, and it says, congratulations. All the advices that you both have shared in this interview are so great. Thank you. Okay,
Thank you.
so with this message, we've reached the end of our interview with the Moroccan writer Ikrame Selkani, who joined us today to present her book, Don't Skip My Memory. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure to speak with you today.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. It was really a big pleasure. And thanks a lot for this incredible program.
Well, that's all for today. Thank you for listening. It's been a delightful interview with our writer Ikrame Selkani and with all of you who continue to support us with your preference. Once again, we thank our special guest Ikrame Selkani. Wish her the best in all of her upcoming projects. This concludes our episode today. Once again, thank you. Have a happy and blessed day.
Okay.
So that's it. That's
Yes,
it.